What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm DB, Pat Perry with me. We're the Tour Junkies. We just wrapped up our own podcast for the American Express 2021 from PGA West in lovely La Quinta, California, in the desert. Third event of 2021 on the PGA Tour. We just wrapped up the show, Pat. We had a great show. We had PGA Tour caddy Gino Bonelli call us live from the airport on the show. He's on the way to La Quinta to loop for Joel Damon. We had a great conversation with him. Talked a little bit about the golf course. If you want to catch anything about the course, key stats, course breakdown, all that kind of stuff, you can head over to anywhere you listen to podcasts and find the Tour Junkies podcast and our YouTube page as well. But while you're here, give the video a thumbs up. You're going to like it. We already know you're going to like it. So you may as well just give it a thumbs up. If you're going to give it a thumbs down, you probably already know you're going to give it a thumbs down. So just get off, just go somewhere. Just go somewhere else. We're looking forward to this. We got a couple names that we're going to debate, Pat, a couple names that we found some disagreement on. And then we're going to talk some DraftKings Sportsbook bets, some outrights, and some top 20s for the American Express. We're recording this on Monday night. There's not much out there yet in terms of offerings other than outrights and top 20s. So, Pat, let's get into this. I'll start us off with some disagreement because I disagree with you on a name at the top. I'm pretty sure you saw this one coming. It's Brooks Koepka.
Oh, yeah. Love him.
NDFS, Brooks Koepka on DraftKings, $10,800. Now, John Rahm just withdrew. He withdrew from the golf tournament. He's at 11.5. Then you have Patrick Cantlay at 11.1 and Brooks at 10.8. So, I'm not – this is pretty simple. I'm not a big believer in first event coming off of a long layoff Brooks. There are definitely guys that I think it doesn't matter. Yes, I think Brooks is talented enough to win at any point. He definitely is. But, you follow Brooks long enough on social media, you follow his girlfriend, Jenna Sims, long enough on social media, and you start to just – Brooks enjoys himself, which is great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But it never really feels like his first event's back. He's really in it to do much other than shake the rust off. This is a very personal opinion. It's very subjective, but he has never played this event before, and we haven't seen him in a while. We haven't seen him since, the OHL Classic where he missed the cut. So I just don't love paying up for the 10.8 price tag with Brooks coming off this, this hiatus.
Well, I get it. And, a lot of people like to, drive the narrative that Brooks doesn't want to, care about these tournaments that aren't majors and that kind of stuff. But, actually the last time he was coming off of a pretty long break was in the fall. He played the CJ Cup in mid-October and didn't play till almost mid-November for the Houston Open, where he finished 5th after a pretty long break. And then the following week finished 7th at the Masters and really could have been contending the final day if it hadn't been such for a terrible first round when everybody was scoring like crazy. Now, he did miss a cut at the OHL at Mayakoba, but still, I like him this week. I think, you're getting Brooks Koepka in a field it is a good field, but I think he is certainly one of the class players in here. You look at the stats for him. I mean, he's 20th in approach. He's 22nd in opportunities gained, which is a scoring stat that I like. Checks a box in greens and regulation. I think that, he could have a great week. And look, you may not want to play him. I love him this week. I think it's a good week for old BK. And I think he's up there as one of the odds-on favorites for a reason. Actually, I think he's actually got good odds, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So I like those as well. So I'm fine with playing Brooks. I love him. So
I see your Houston Open comment, but I'm going to raise you. I'm going to raise you how he did when he came off the Tour Championship in 2019 and then went right to the Shriners 2 months later and missed the cut. And also, his first event in 2019 was a Tournament of Champions, no-cut event. There's only 30 players in the field. Good Lord, I'm allergic to Brooks Koepka. He finished 24th in that field coming off a long break. So I think you can find some data on both sides, but I think in general, the tendency tends to be for him to kind of shake the rust off event. And if you're paying up for him, you need him to top 10. You need him to top 10.
I think he could easily top 10.
He
And
could.
now
Yeah, of
you can
course.
say
He's
that
Brooks
about any
Koepka.
golfer in this field. Almost any golfer might have a little rust coming off of a break. I mean, it is, look, it's golf. But it's not like he's been sitting around just laying on a beach for the last month and a half or
Are you
whatever.
sure about that? Have you,
I mean,
are you sure about that? Are you following Jenna on Instagram? Yeah, he
I
kind of
follow
is.
I no, I don't follow Jenna. I don't follow Jenna on Instagram.
Okay, moving on.
Go
Who?
back, get out of here. Anyway, I yeah, not yeah. Anyway, Patrick Cantlay.
Oh,
Don't like him this week. I'm going to fade him this week. I think he's going to be way too highly owned. You know, you look at the stats for him, he's not really, strokes gained approach hadn't really been good over his last 36 rounds. You know, putts terrible in Bermuda. I'm not a very big fan of old Cantlay at 11-1. Now, if he was like below Koepka and maybe in this low 10K range, I like him. But I think I'm out on Cantlay this week at 11-1. And I need you to sell me on him because I like him. I like the kid, but
okay.
I don't want to play him.
Well, I mean, since the new season started, so that was with the U.S. Open in September, where he only finished 43rd. Not great. He finished 8th after that in the desert, by the way. And then he won the Zozo, and then he finished 17th at the Masters, and then 13th at the TOC Tournament of Champions just 2 weeks ago. I like the fact that he's already played an event so far this year, 2 weeks ago, and then he got a little bit of rest. He came over to California. He's a California guy. He loves playing in California, so that's definitely a plus. From a ball striking standpoint, he if you look long term and in the shorter term, last 3 events, he checks the box here. Definitely. He checks all the boxes from approach play, from his around the green play. Tee to green is great. What I did, so this tournament is being played on 2 different golf courses. One is the Stadium course, one is the Nicklaus course. Each player is going to play 1 round on Thursday or Friday on each course. And then after the cut, after 2 rounds after the cut, they're all going to go play the Stadium course. So if your players make the cut, they're going to play 3 rounds on the Stadium course. So from a course perspective, looking at the Stadium course is important. Now, he's only played 2 rounds on the Stadium course in the last couple years. But in this field, he's top 10 in ball striking, 3rd in approach. Something about this place suited him when he played it here in the past, and I like that for Patrick Cantlay. And I love the form coming in. And I love the Cali narrative. And I think a lot of people are going to play a little more balanced lineup. I don't think anybody's going to jump up here and pay up for Cantlay. And one way that we know you can get an edge in DFS and in tournaments is to obviously find the diamond in the rough down at the bottom that is way better than his price. But it's also sometimes feeling like you're overpaying a little bit for a player. I'm willing to overpay a little bit for Patrick Cantlay. I'm not willing to overpay for Brooks Koepka. I like that I just saw Cantlay just a couple weeks ago, and that he's got a win in the last couple of tournaments he's played. So there you go. I'm not.
We'll
I'm,
see.
I'm loving Patrick Cantlay.
There's a lot of great plays too in that 7K range, which we both talked about on the show. Or it's just we couldn't even
Solid
mention
range.
enough names.
Love
so
that range.
It is. Yeah, I'm very
Comment in the comments below your favorite $7,000 play, 7K range play for GPPs on DraftKings, because we love that range so much. It's tough to narrow down. In the comments, put your favorite 7K play. If you're playing in tournaments, who do you like? Who's going to give you some leverage? All right, Pat, let's talk DK Sportsbook. Let's talk some DraftKings odds. I tell you, man, when you look at the past winners here, okay, Andrew Landry last year won at like 300 to 1. The year before that, Adam Long won at like 500, 600
I think
to
he was
1.
600, yeah.
That's insane. There's been some bombs. Now, John Rahm won here, pretty short, but there's been plenty of bombs to win this place. A lot of different players can win. If you look over the past 10 winners, 3 of the last 10 did not even play the week before, so there was no play. Another 3 out of 10 played the week before but missed the cut. So that's 6 out of the last 10 winners either didn't play the week before or did play and missed the cut. Only 2 of the last 10 winners have finished top 30 or better in their previous start. So, yeah, we're arguing Patrick Cantlay's form and all that stuff, but honestly, when you look at the last 10 winners, the recipe here is pretty volatile. a lot of different guys can win. You don't have to be a bomber. You don't have to be, super accurate. You can kind of do a lot of different things here, and a lot of different players win and can win. And it's been shown you don't have to really come here in impeccable form or with a great record at this course or any experience whatsoever at this course. All of it plays. So that's what we love about betting on golf is that the volatility makes it fun and some long numbers can hit and some long numbers can win. So with that being said, Pat, why don't you start off the shorter range? Who are some names here on the shorter side to that mid-range that you like, kind of catching your attention early here on a Monday on DK Sportsbook?
So I'll give you three guys actually in this shorter range. One being Scotty Scheffler. I like him at 17-1. He finished well here on this course last year, or in this tournament last year. I like him there. Also like Brooks Koepka, as I mentioned, he's at 21-1. And right there next to him, Sung J M is also 21-1. I like that as well. I don't like how hard that is to say. 21-1 just sounds weird. It sounds weird,
It's a
but
tough
whatever.
one.
I'm going to go with those two guys there on the shorter end. As far as the mid range, a couple guys that I like in here also. Hang on, let me get to them real quick. I like some Charlie Hoffman at 66-1. I think that's a good number for him here in this mid range. Also, I'm a fan of my boy Emiliano Grillo. He is at 60-1. I think that is a great number for him. We've seen him in pretty good recent form. The stats always line up. I feel like every week I look at stats for Grillo.
On him.
Yeah, except for putting. It always looks good. And then Sam Burns is very interesting at 70-1. I am seeing him much shorter on some other books. I'm seeing him at
that number's going to go down.
That number is going to go down, I think, really quick. So if you can get on him as soon as you possibly can at 70-1, I think that's a good number also here. So there you go. That's who I'll go in this mid range.
Sam Burns, fun fact, actually, course record holder at the Stadium course, which is the course they're going to play 3 times. Tied with Abraham Answer at both shot 63 to be current course record holders. So that's good information to know. I love the Sam Burns play, and I think you're right. I think he's going to be bet down. He's great on Bermuda. You got Bermuda greens here. I think that number is going to get a lot shorter. I mean, I still think I would roll with some Sam Burns at 50-1. If he got down to 50, I think I'd still take it. I think 70 is a tremendous number. I'm gonna skip some of the short range. I'm just gonna give some people some bombs here because I think you can do that. I like Adam Long at 75-1. Now he's a previous winner. He won here 2 years ago. He loves this golf course. Big fan of this golf course. Suits up really nicely for Adam Long. Really good fall, like sneaky good fall for Adam Long. Let me look at where third place finish at the OHL, 30th at the RSM, 11th at the Houston Open, and 5th at Corrales, 13th at the U.S. Open. He had another runner-up back in the summer at the 3M. Like Adam Long can compete, and pop up and win just like he did in 2019. So I really like Adam Long at 75-1. I think it's a really solid value for him. And I think that number could get lower too. I love Cam Davis. Big, long, tall, drink of water Aussie who hits it a mile. But he also plays pretty decent he can play decent on short courses. You got your full plethora of par 5s here at his disposal, so he can take advantage of the par 5s. He couldn't do that last week at the Sony. Only 2 par 5s at the Sony. You get 4 on every course here. He finished 31st last week at the Sony despite all that. But I really like Cam Davis here at night. I think that's a good value at 90-1. Now, getting longer, Kevin Streelman at 90-1. Very under the radar, short knocking kind of player. Streel's not not a super sexy pick, but here's what I can tell you. In 8 rounds at the Stadium course over the last few years, he is 3rd in this field in strokes gained ball striking. That's off the tee and approach. So something about the Stadium course really suits Kevin Streelman. And he is a PGA Tour winner. Now, he doesn't win a lot, but he's a PGA Tour winner, and I think he gives you a little bit of win equity there. One of my favorite plays in the whole thing is Sepp Straka at 100-1. Talked him up last week, talked him up probably the week before that, or not the week before that, it was tournament champions. But Sepp Straka is an absolute stud player out of University of Georgia. Don't know if you've noticed, but University of Georgia golfers are pretty good. Finished 25th at the Sony last week, finished 5th at the Houston Open back in the fall. Really good ball striker, plays well on Bermuda. He's a longer hitter that actually, if you look back at his PGA Tour starts, plays on shorter courses pretty well for a long hitter. So he knows how to dial it back, but take advantage and be aggressive when he needs to so he can score on those par fives. So I like him. I like Scott Piercy at 110-1. He's a guy that loves the desert, loves the desert. He's got a couple of PGA Tour wins under his belt. Good ball striker. Missed the cut last week at the Sony, but just barely missed it. But I like that he shook the rust off and he arrives at the desert in a place that he's actually also played the stadium course a fair amount and ranks very highly in ball striking. Finally, I'm going to give you one more bomb, just total bomb, then I'll let Pat wrap it up. I'm going to go with Scott Stallings at 250-1. Scott's a friend of the podcast. He's been on the Tour Junkies podcast before. Great guy, good ball striker, loves California golf. Loves this golf tournament, this golf course, and he's recommitted, like rededicated himself to having his best year ever, and he's ready to win on the PGA Tour. I just think 250-1 is a super long number, and he's got a lot of experience here. I feel like if there's a bomb that's going to hit, I think Scott has a really good shot.
Okay. Well, I will start at 110-1 here, and I like Doc Redman there at 110-1. He's a guy that I think is going to be super high owned, super chalky in DFS.
Very chalky in DFS.
But if I can get him at
110-1, that's another one that's going to be way shorter by the time.
Yeah, absolutely love that. As a matter of fact, I think I'm firing in on that after we get off the show here.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, look, he's a great ball striker. Checks the box and approach.
What's his top 20 number? That is top 20. Really long for Doc Redman.
His top 20 number is
I can't find it.
12-1.
No, that's top 10.
No, sorry, that's his top 10 number.
He's 4.5-1 as a top 10. I freaking love that. I would pound that too.
Yeah.
That's a great pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I love that pick. I hate a lot of your other picks, but I love that pick.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't ask you if you liked him or not. I don't care.
I'm just telling you.
I mean, you just threw that out there. I didn't say that about your picks.
You could, though. I mean, you can.
Anyway, also Henrik Norlander at 175-1. Another guy that is just a great ball striker. I think can have some success on this course. And now the win equity, maybe not so much like a Doc, but I do think Norlander can have a good week. And 175-1, I think it's a pretty good number there. So there you go.
By the way, I forgot to mention my top 20 bets because I do like taking bombs in the top 20s, and they're the names I mentioned. Sepp Straka's 3.5-1. I like that. Piercy is 4.5-1. Scott Stallings is 7-1. Like those guys as well in terms of a top 20. But I do love the Doc Redman 4.5-1. That's going to get shorter. So, yeah, love it. Good stuff, Pat. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Be sure, like I said, comment your favorite 7K range pick if you're playing a GPP on DraftKings. Drop that in the comments. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the DraftKings channel. Thanks for watching Tour Junkies After Dark presented by DraftKings. May your screens be green. See ya.